Hey guys, Hercules here. Thanks for joining me for another round of Critical HIIT. Today we're going to be doing some sideways HIIT that focuses on moving your body laterally so that we can focus on the left side and the right side. And while we do it, we're going to nerd out talking about some Settlers of Catan. Alright guys, so first thing we're going to do is a side-to-side run. When you start doing this, kind of ease into it, and then you can start to pick up some momentum, okay? You'll know you're doing it right if you, as you switch to each foot, if you kind of feel your weight shift there, and then you launch off of it going the other direction. Kind of have this like pendulum movement that you start going with. So, going back and forth, and after you're doing this, we're gonna do it for a minute here. After you're doing it for a moment, you'll start to feel it engaging like your glutes, the top, your obliques, right? Because our goal today is hit the sides. So, a little easy to get going, but after about a minute, whew, gets that heart rate up, gets us ready for the rest of our workout. All right, let's check our time. That's about a minute. All right, next thing we're gonna do is a minute of active rest. During this active rest, you can jog in place, you can do jumping jacks, but the goal is to keep your heart rate up until our next activity. Now while we're doing this, I'll tell you, I love myself some Settlers of Catan. Board game that's been around a while, right, since '95. I think it's sold like 80 million copies. So most people played it, right? Pretty ubiquitous as Monopoly at this point. But something that I really love playing on is Catan Universe, that's what's playing behind me, which is like a digital version. It's got its ups and downs, but the community at large is really nice. But Catan is something I start every day with a cup of coffee and a round of Catan. I'm not gonna brag or anything, but I'm nationally ranked, so, you know, just kind of throwing some subtle Catan flex there on ya. All right, the minute of active rest is over. Next thing we're gonna do are some side lunges. To do this, you're gonna start with your right leg, you're gonna step to the right, and then go down as if you're going to sit into a chair. Keep your left leg straight because that's the stationary leg. Then once you're down, you'll push up from the heel and then back to center, okay? Then we switch, we do it on the other leg, up and back. And you wanna try and keep the center leg straight, whichever side you're on, all right? So we're gonna do a minute of this, let's go. And when you're doing this, it can feel easy, but you do it after a few minutes and you start to feel that burn and all throughout your thighs, especially kind of the inside of your thighs. Whew, man, you start to really feel it. Now, you want to try your best. I'm messing up a few times here. Keep that anchor leg, the leg in the middle, keep that straight when you go down. Such a temptation to bend it, but if you do, then your weight shifts and you're not working the muscles that you want to. All right, we'll do one more on the other side. So for this next minute of active rest, we're gonna do jumping jacks. So let's go for 1 minute. And while we do, I wanna talk a little bit about different strategies on Catan, right? So of course, base game, it's first to 10. Lots of ways there. You gotta build out, you gotta get the settlements, you gotta upgrade those cities. But I feel like there's 2 to 3 core strategies. You either have build far and wide, and then you're going for longest road, right? You have kind of build up those powerhouses, those metropolises, and in that case, you're just like dumping on the resources, right? So then you wanna grab a port, because then you're kind of printing your own money. Or you're gunning for development cards, right? Largest army, the 5 points that are hidden in there, you're going for those. And it's interesting to me how all of those styles can be variable and can be viable depending on the group of people you're playing with, you know? And then of course, there's always luck in the game. Luck of the draw, luck of the roll. A little bit like gambling. But man, there's nothing as sweet as when you happen to build up that 12 or, and against all odds it hits, and it's payday, son. Oh, I love it. All right, guys, so this next one we're gonna do, not gonna lie, looks a little down and dirty, but that's all right. It's called a tricep dip. So we're using our own body strength here. You're gonna kind of get on the ground just like this. You can put your knees up, you're sitting on the ground. You can take your hands and they're gonna face them behind you, but your fingers pointing towards your butt. And then you're just gonna push up and down, up and down, up and down. So, told you, a little dirty. But get your mind out of the gutter. You're not thrusting your pelvis up into the air, all right? So just cool down there, cowboy. What you're doing instead is pushing up with your arms, okay? You're trying to activate your triceps, as the name would imply, tricep dips. So you're getting the backside of your arms, okay? That's where you should feel it. If you feel it really anywhere else, especially strongly anywhere else, then you're maybe not activating the right muscles, okay? So we're gonna do this. We got 1 minute, let's go. So, like many of these things, first 5, 6, 7, not so bad. Then you get going, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, my triceps are not as strong as I want them to be. But that's okay. We distract ourselves instead by talking about Catan. So, I'm curious, everybody who plays Catan has a favorite color. So, I wanna know what yours is. Leave it in the comments below. Not gonna lie, I love playing as blue. When someone else plays as blue, always messes me up at some point. But I gotta give mad props to the people out there who play orange, right? Like I know, I can't remember his name. Whew. Oh, it's bad, I forget. But world champion in Catan from 2019, I remember he's kind of infamous because his color is always orange, right? So, kind of love that. You just kind of rock the less likely, less common color, you know? But no, man, blue for me. Love it. Matches my eyes. Got like a whole synergy thing going on. Whew. All right, so it's been about a minute. We're gonna go back into our active rest. So while we are, let's talk about that most contentious of topics, the robber, right? So I'm curious, leave in the comments below, how do you use the robber? There's a lot of strategies, right? You can use them offensively, go after that person in first, go after that resource that you really need, steal it, right? Or you can be a total ass and like cripple the person in last, and you're just kind of pressing them down like a proletariat, and you, sir, get a mental middle finger. So there you go. So, you know, lots of different ways. You can also use them as a really diplomatic resource, right? You agree to not hit someone if they guarantee a trade. So, lots of manipulation with that robber. And then, of course, you have people like my oldest son who are the eternal peacekeepers. They're like, what space on the board is blank? Putting the robber there. Or like back to the desert, right? Like, that's my son. He's like, I don't want to make waves. Let's just play and have fun. Which, I gotta say, if more people were like him in the world would be a much happier place, for sure. Whew. All right, that's about a minute. All right, next thing we're gonna do is a minute of bicycle abs. Let's hit them. So as you're doing these, you're pedaling your feet as if you're riding a bike, right? And you're trying to alternate which elbow is hitting which knee. So as you're doing that, you're basically twisting and activating every ab along the left and the right side, which again was our goal today. Hitting abs, or hitting both sides of our body.
Now I'll tell you, like a lot of these workouts, you do it 10 seconds, not so bad, you feel like a pro. Do it 30 seconds and you're like, oh man, this is rough. Do it a minute and you're like, I'm gonna barf. So, but I'm right there with you, right? Oh man, it's feeling tight, feeling tough. Take a break for a sec. Whew, thank God, we're at a minute. All right. All right, guys, those bicycle crunches, man, they rock you, right? We're gonna do another minute active. This time we're gonna do jumping jacks. So, as we are, let's talk a little bit about expansions, right? So, because Catan's been out a while, it's like, you've got a lot of really good expansions. And to be honest, there's not many, if really any, that are duds. I mean, you got seafarers, you got traders and barbarians, and then of course, cities and knights. Anymore, I kind of feel like you play without cities and knights and it's like, man, you're cheating yourself. So good, right? At bare minimum, you gotta play variations on the base game, like Harbor Master. Super fun, I love that. That extra needed victory point changes everything, right? But then there's lots of like little mini ones as well. Like oil springs and things like that. And I really love them, lots of different variations. Not to mention the scenario ones, right? Merchants of Europe, or the like prehistoric one, or the American one. And then you have like Game of Thrones Catan, which if you haven't played that, oh man, it's awesome. There's a wall and one team's a White Walkers. It's legit, you gotta check that out. All right, a little over a minute, it's okay. We're geeking out about Catan. Let's go into our last activity. All right guys, last activity today is going to be a variation on a plank. It's gonna be sideways planks. So to do this, I wanna go into a normal plank position, right? Like you're ready to do a push-up. But then, instead of holding here like a normal plank, you might have to center your left arm a little. You're gonna twist and put one up toward the sky. And then you're gonna count to 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come down and we're gonna switch. And we're gonna do 3 of these on each side. Okay? 1, 2. All right. All right, one more on each side. Oh, all right. Good job, guys. Tougher than it looks, but you did a great job. All right, guys, you've done an awesome job today. Last thing to do is our final minute of active rest. We're gonna also use this as a cool down. So after we jog here for a minute, we can do about 15 seconds, 15, 20 seconds of some stretching. And while we kind of finish up here, just say about Catan, like, I love the worldwide community. I love how pervasive it is into pop culture. You know, the stuffies out there, the different styles that people make, like on Etsy, like wooden Catan, 3D Catan, amazing, love it. But I think the thing I love the most is the competitive community of Catan. Just some great people, and if you win a regional qualifying event, you go to nationals, you win at nationals, and you go to the world championship.
And there's not a lot of board games where you can compete against people from all over the world. Last year, super cool guy from New Zealand won. Pretty awesome finale. So if you're into watching world championships of board games, you're at the right place, friend. Like minds here. Check it out though, it's awesome. All right, that's about a minute. We're just gonna take a second here. We're just gonna stretch, loosen up these major joints, right? Ooh, look at that, I'm side to side. Getting seasick from all of our workout today. Go get my land legs under me. Oh, all right guys, you crushed it today. Nice job. All right guys, great workout today. Go drink some water, bring that heart rate back down by playing some Catan Universe, and I will see you next time. High five, subscribe.